In New York City, John Wick gets ready to correct retaliation against the High Table while concealing underground with the Bowery Lord. He goes to Morocco and kills the Elder, the person who sits over the table. Accordingly, the Marquis Vincent de Graymont, a High Table part, gathers New York Continental Lodging Chief Winston and his attendant, Karen. The Marquis makes sense of that the High Table has given him limitless assets to kill John Wick. He berates Winston for neglecting to kill John. As discipline, the Marquis strips Winston of his administrative obligations, proclaims him excommunicado, annihilates the Continental, and executes Karen. The Marquis then, at that point, enrolls Kane, a visually impaired, resigned High Table professional killer, to kill his close buddy, John, taking steps to kill Kane's girl in any case. John takes asylum at the Osaka Continental, show to his companion Shimazu Koji. The Marquis' second-in-order chidi, upheld by High Table professional killers, and Kane shows up to examine the lodging. Koji's little girl Akira, the lodging's attendant, empties the inn not long before the High Table deconsecrates it, lighting a skirmish when Koji and his men come to John's protection. John battles through floods of reinforced professional killers, prompting a confrontation against Kane. Mr. Nobody, an abundance tracker, interferes with their battle and works with John's departure subsequent to deciding the abundance for killing John to be inadequate. An injured Koji over and over assaults Kane for John's sake. Kane hesitantly kills Koji and saves Akira. John gets back to New York and meets with a vindictive Winston at Karen's gravesite. Winston encourages John to summon an old High Table practice to move the Marquis to a duel. Winning would free John, all things considered, to the High Table, yet he can demand a duel for the benefit of a wrongdoing family. He goes to the Berlin Central Command of the Ruska-Roma criminal organization, with whom he had cut off ties, to demand readmission. His supportive sister Kadia specifies that for readmission, John should kill Killer Harkin, a High Table part who killed her dad. John defies Killer at his club. Kane and Mr. No One helps John against Killer's partners in crime. When a battle breaks out, John at last kills Killer and recovers his status. Winston transfers John's proper test to the Marquis. Going about as John's second, Winston demands that the New York Continental be reconstructed, with him restored as chief, should John win. In Paris, John and the Marquis settle on the duel's boundaries, dueling guns on the accompanying dawn at Sacré-Cœur in a gathering directed by the Harbinger, the table's messenger. The Marquis selects a hesitant Kane to have his spot. John and Winston will be executed or to either neglect to show up on time. The Bowery Lord shows up in Paris to give John a gun and another ballistic suit. The Marquis expects to keep John from showing up at the duel in time by putting a $26 million abundance on him. John fends off swarms of professional killers while heading to Sacré-Cœur, including Mr. Nobody, who arranges an abundance increment to $40 million. During their showdown, John keeps Chidi from killing Mr. Nobody's canine, causing a dazed Mr. Nobody to forsake his quest for John. After Kane and Mr. Nobody help John in warding off a few professional killers including Chidi, whom Mr. Nobody one kills on the Lament Foydia, they arrive at the culmination with perfect timing for the duel. John and Kane twisted each other through 2 rounds of dueling. The 3rd round stops when Kane seriously wounds John. Requesting the option to oversee the final blow, the Marquis enthusiastically trades places with Kane. Winston rebukes the Marquis for his egotism, uncovering that John has not yet discharged his 3rd shot. John shoots and kills the Marquis. The Harbinger awards Kane and John their independence from the High Table, and Winston is re-established. In the wake of falling on the flight of stairs, John reflects upon his life and marriage prior to surrendering to his wounds. In a little while, back in New York, Winston and the Bowery Lord bid goodbye to John at his grave, situated close to that of his late spouse Helen. In a post-credits scene, Kane gets back to Paris to rejoin with his girl yet is drawn nearer by the wrathful Akira, who shakes a blade.